Hello, this is J.N.S. and today we're continuing with our weekly tarot reading. And I hope you guys are having a great Friday. Happy Friday. And we're going to do like we usually do. We're going to start with the events, then we're going to go into the reading for the individual for the week. And then we're going to get into the feelings portion of the tarot reading to give 1 to 2 weeks for the events as well as for the individual reading itself. And then for the feelings, that is a snapshot of consciousness at this exact time. And so you can use the 1 week time frame for that one. And so let's start. This is for the week of, we're starting on the 22nd, but obviously it's for the week of the 25th, March 25th. So it starts today. And so we'll start with reading for the events. I also want to say, before we start this week's reading, we do see some elements of last week's reading playing out now. I remember saying the situation with some sort of alliance being broken somewhere where some type of president or some type of nation breaks off from an alliance, or they want to go independent, they want to go separate, something of that nature. And so we're still waiting for that to play out. We have one incident in which the Irish prime minister resigned and called out the United States. They called out the president in particular to cease fire in Gaza. And so when you think of like breaking of alliances or being displeased, I was saying there's some type of alliance in one of these, whether that be like the G20, NATO, some type of alliance, BRICS. It could have been something on that level. And so, with Ireland and the U.S., I don't think we have a formal alliance. I'm not sure, but this incident could be the result of starting to look of such nature in terms of alliance breaking or loss of support with Ireland and the U.S. because the prime minister calls out Joe Biden and he steps down literally the next day after that. He quit. He's stepping down. And so that's one event playing out. I do think there's going to be another one though. I really do. I think there's going to be something else relating to that. And so I'll keep my my ears open for that for the next week. But I thought that was interesting because we were talking about alliances and something with the West. I knew it was something with the West. So, and I said it would be a third world not doing too good with their economy. So I mean, we still have some time because I know it involves some type of woman. So I wouldn't be shocked. Maybe the next prime minister of Ireland would be a woman. It's something though. There's definitely something coming with that. And so I want to start the reading. So for events this week, we're looking at it's honestly is going to be a pretty decent week. I see good things occurring within the finance and business markets, particularly the finance institutions. I see that on the up and up for the next 2 weeks. I also see a situation with a melanated woman being promoted in some sort of politics. This could be this relates to politics or like a heavily influential institution in the United States. There's some sort of promotion of a Black woman and one of these and it's in politics, or she just come out of nowhere. And it's not like the vice president or something. It's something different. And so I see that happening. I also see a possible This could be a corporation or a religious institution that has to come forward and defend something that they have done, something they have to defend their quote unquote integrity or authenticity from some sort of questioning. And that's going to go in their favor. And so we're looking at, I see an event of that nature. I also see some like a lot of hope and renewal. So I wouldn't be shocked if there's like a renewal, certain policies, certain um, like a renewal in a good sense. So if there's any sort of policies that were like beneficial to Americans on any sort of level, um, all of those things in terms of hoping for renewal, it looks like that's a yes. Let me actually look because this is coming to me from the Akashic records, but I want to see like what kind of policies are facing some type of renewal. Renewal. Let's look it up together that way. Going with this because I'm just picking up, I'm just looking at the cards and getting the events renewal of policy because this relates to like government is what I'm getting. I mean, let's see if there's some type of news. Sky. Renewal of policy, renewal of it's like some type of renewal verification contract. It's something relating to that. State Farm to exit home owner renewal policies in California. Renews policies. Okay, so it's not relating to State Farm. This is relating to government. We'll see. It's something upcoming though with it that I see for sure. Something with the renewal. There can also be collaboration amongst corporations as well. This could be merger and acquisitions relating to a finance company or a aristocrat company, a really established corporation as well. I wouldn't be shocked if there was some sort of merger acquisitions. Uh, Not something that's already like it, in the works, but like something that gets announced is what I'm getting more so of for events. And I would also talk about like the red heifer. There was this let me pull it up. So there's like this red heifer sacrifice or red heifer prophecy that's supposed to be happening. And I actually want to talk about this. Like a massive altar that's being set up for the red heifer sacrifice constructed in Israel. And now this is like a very intricate ritual. Like the heifer's supposed to be female, the heifer's supposed to be like fed a certain diet, the heifer's supposed to be like a virgin or some stuff like that, not have and it's supposed to be like some type of sacrifice. Let's look into it. Let's look into it to see what this was. A massive altar for the 10th red heifer sacrifice have been built in Israel. And there's a tremendous amount of speculation that it can happen soon. It's supposed to be like in April 4. And so there's this great American eclipse, and people are saying, is that a prophetic warning from God? Okay. I want to actually go into the intricacies of the ritual itself. Okay, so a lot of people believe that these red heifers are the key to the rebuilding of the temple, Jewish temple that once stood in Jerusalem, to beckoning them. Now they're kind of forcing this prophecy and this simulation to try to bring. They're going by the book, but there's a lot of this stuff has already played out in terms of the idea of a messianic Christ consciousness age, and what that looks like, and who is the octave of that, and who is even sent to bring that about. Humans themselves would be shocked, to understand what's actually going on. as we just seen in Russia. Let me actually show you this. Russia just released their volts, showing that showing that the original biblical Israelites were in fact melanated. And so I had, we pretty much already knew that, but so they're showing this for the first time. These books, and the volts of Russia, they're releasing this information because it's prophecy. Like I 20 I'm sorry, in August of 2022, I was saying, I just had like this prophetic priestess moment where I'm like, hey, tribe of Judah, this whole thing, because I was seeing all this stuff. I could feel it clear as day. And so they're releasing this information out, and look at this, the red and black. And so I was talking about this on my Twitter. And so they're just now, they come out, look at this red and black Joe, and so I was talking about like the order of Kali and dragon riders and whatnot, and how all this stuff, what this stuff means. Here's some photos from a $3,000 book. As you can see, these are black people. And so we always knew that, for those of us in the conscious community, or for those of us that have some modicum of history, we knew that, but they make us sound like we just some, what is it, Afrocentric. They try to play us, they try to play in our tops, but they are now admitting that. And people are like, oh my gosh, they were right, and whatnot, which is annoying because like it's only validated because the Russian opened their vault, but for those of us that have been, saying this stuff for years, we were kind of laughed out of the room. But yes, there's a lot of prophecy going on, a lot of prophecy playing out. That is apocalyptic. People say it's biblical. There's other prophecies just as ancient that are just as relevant. And we're talking about these quantum simulated realities playing out simultaneously based on pockets of quantum data that is released from people's residence. So we have the Israel, this portion of information being propelled, this bringing of the red cows to to the Holy Land or whatnot. And so this is supposed to bring about the beckoning of the Messiah. And then, but some people are saying that they're trying to usher about the Antichrist and whatnot. And so these cows, these red heifers, they're supposed to come to an undisclosed location in the Israeli occupied West Bank. And so this is history in the Middle East, when the ancient Romans destroyed the last temple in Jerusalem. And so people, they're invoking the book of Numbers, which commands the Israelites to offer a red heifer without defect or blemish and has never been under a yoke. And only with that offering, then that the temple can arise again. Whew, this is some deep stuff, man. The red heifer cannot have any more than like a certain amount of like black or white hairs or something like that, or disqualifies them from filling a prophesied role. And so finding the red heifers took years. Okay, this was not something they just thought of, so they had to find this long search. And so they found them in Texas, in America, North America. So we have this connection of Texas and North America. And now they got to go over to Israel. Okay. And so people, they are, some people think it's a publicity stunt. Some people say it's the ushering of the Antichrist. Some people say it's the ushering of the Messiah. And so people think that, they're trying to play out the rebuilding of this temple, since it was torn down and destroyed by the Romans in the year 70. And so people believe that, the Jews are supposed to return and rebuild that temple. So I actually wanted to do a reading around this as well. The third tempo, like while we're talking about this, I want to do like an actual reading with the red heifers will usher. But they believe that the red heifer will usher in the second coming of Christ. Newsflash, yeah, it's been announced, and the CIA is well aware that Christ has already. Because it's like when you stuff, humans don't believe it. This shit is right in front of them, and so it's unfortunate. And then they have like this picture in their head of what this stuff is supposed to look like, how it's supposed to play out. They have no idea of how the universe actually works. They don't even have an idea how their own planet works. And it's not me trying to be condescending. It's just like it's a little frustrating because it's like they're trying to force a prophecy of something that it kind of it feels late. It feels late because it was announced in July 2023 that Christ had came back. Much so, very very much so. Now the public may not know that because this is like when somebody is going around saying, whether that be quantum entanglement, quantum superpositioning, however way this thing is ushered, this Christ messianic age is ushered in, or a Christ consciousness or a Christ-like figure comes in to this dimension. You got to figure like that's something that the military would take over. That's not something that's going to be on a mainstream media news cycle, right? The situation what happened with August 2022 with the CERN stuff, when the CERN portal was open and Lionsgate portal was open, and the amount of entities and the shit that took place and how that kind of affected this dimension. That's not stuff that they just gonna uh, air out. Hey, Christ is back. That's stuff that the power players and the powers that be, or players that be, and the secret societies, and those that really run this whole matrix, this whole system. That's something that they're gonna try to keep under wraps as much as possible. They know exactly what's going on. And so I don't care what they tell and want to believe it. And so they were stalling and doing all types of shit. But it's like they know how this simulation is ran at the very top. And so they know that they kind of behind. So it's like, okay, let's actually just play out the prophecy then. Because they know good and well that the way God is playing out, or how you want to look at it. I'll just, for human understanding, I'll just say God. The way God is playing this all out is 1,000 times over their pay grade, their head. The way it's so intelligent, it's unreal. And what these people are on their last leg, the players that be, they're on their last leg and trying to figure out how they can reverse engineer something that's so intelligently designed. And so when in doing that, they go to the prophecies of these books. There's a lot of these books, they have truth in them. And, a lot of stuff has been taken out and stolen and misinterpreted. But as far as like a lot of these prophecies, though, they're gonna take that the story of Revelations with the horses and the trumpets, the pale horse, the black horse, the red horse. You've seen that play out. Now they want to go into, we gotta do this red heifer ritual, see how we can, do the red heifer sacrifice to usher in this messianic age. Well, Christ is already here. Okay, and we told you what that looked like, and I remember clear as day when I was in my little quantum entanglement, I went to a family member and told them, hey, they're giving a rundown, and my whole life was turned up doing that. And I was told by primordial mother, what you guys call God, not to go and do that, and I didn't listen. Clear as day. Clear as day was told, you better not go over there and run your motherfucking mouth. What did I do? Go over there and run my motherfucking mouth. And my life had never been the same since. Because again, anybody that's making announcements like that, or they claiming to know information about that kind of stuff, that's military. That's not something the average public person is supposed to know. They not about to sit up there and take that lightly. The human race may be so far behind where they think, oh, it's just jokes. It's just, that's person just off their rocker, they know that the average human is not taking that kind of stuff serious. But based on their surveillance and their intelligence and they data gathering and the information that they have, and the not just the information, but like the actual places that they know and that they have access to, they know good and hell well what's going on. And so I don't. They want to do this. This is what they just released into y'all. This is what they released to the public about the red heifers and the ritual sacrifice that they got to do in Israel. If you think that the playbook of how a prophecy is going to play out is going to be released to the masses, you're going to see signs and wonders, right? You're always going to see signs and wonders that God is among you, or that there's change of God, that there's, that's real. That's real, right? But as far as like these Zionists or whoever, these people who uh done hijacked the bloodline, my bloodline. If you think they just gonna go and get some cows from Texas and bring them to Israel, and that's gonna usher in the Messiah, you are out of your ever loving mind. That is forcing a sign and wonder. Okay, there's a such thing as deception. There's a such thing as stage and narrative creation. This is a simulation that we live in, a holographic universe, right? And so, yes, signs and wonders have already been here. I'm not doubting that there's a Christ consciousness age coming, that there is a messianic, I'm not doubting the energy of Yeshua and this return, as you guys would say. I know that it's 1,000 times more intricate than the human mind can fathom. And they're going to have a hard time. They're going to have a hard time accepting that. But I would say 100 years, you guys would get what I'm saying, and what that looks like and how this is playing all out. But you have to see a play for what a play is. I'm not trying to tell nobody what to believe or but I'm saying, like, these people that are trying to force about a prophecy of a situation that's already been determined, a situation that's already been set in stone. They are trying to their Masonic credit system, their ability to spiritual harvest off of a certain people's identity that does not belong to them. Okay. And so they're thinking, okay, but these things please God, these things please, I just showed you. If for those that can't catch my codes, I just showed you what they just released in damn Russia. Matter of fact, let's just go through, what I was saying. I told 14th royal family bloodline that is black. And in July 2023, there's a 14th. Bloodline, 14th royal family that is black. A lot of them did fall to the wayside with this system, and by that I mean they took an oath and a pact to align with the 13 families with Satan. They aligned with that. There's those of us who didn't. The thing is, some of us that are in 2024 that are still alive, we have both sides now that are literally our family. But by that we're talking about the blood of David, Solomon, that whole family, right? And then the sect that made pacts with the fallen angels. There's black Americans, black people in the United States, and even some in Africa, that are a part of this 14th royal family bloodline. Now, anybody that knows that when you run in interdimensionally, the money aspect is not what's important. And I can show you books on like monarch programming, how children come into this world with they come through as a human, but they're really a whole entity. That's a real thing, and I can show you how that is done. And in order for the entity to have strongholds over certain parts of America, or even if it's an entity that's like a fallen angel, those people will come from elite monarch bloodlines, but you don't want to draw attention to them, so they will live very mundane lives. I was trying to explain that in July as well. Like, again, this stuff is so intricate. I know it's a lot, but then you can have the exact opposite. Sometimes they don't have to be. It could be an entity that's conjured through the womb that's not a part of necessarily the fallen angel aspect, but the actual heavenly domain. And then you have some of us that's both. that is a part of this 14th royal bloodline because of, again, some of the black royal family did sell out other black Americans and Africans. They did sell out some of our people and did put our bloodline into very horrific strongholds. The thing is, if the bloodline was already a part of another covenant or another pact, which is like with my, I'll just speak with mine. There's at least three. Okay. And so you try to program what the royal bloodlines do is they as far as the children, they'll program monarchs, and that is pretty much an insertion of I don't want to get into this science. I'll just say that sometimes the programming doesn't work because there's already another covenant that overrides that covenant. So so in simple terms, say you're a black American as part of this 14th royal bloodline that I'm talking about, and it's not all of us as a part of this bloodline. Is not at all. But they know who we are. They know exactly. They're already tracked it. They know they a lot of us have been getting killed, poisoned, all types of stuff have been happening. Very few have survived. And so now it's time that we're out in the open. But say you're a black American and you got several pacts that your ancestors made, not that you made. Mind you, I didn't make any pacts. I ain't make no deals. I ain't do no covenants. I ain't do no contracts. I didn't do any of that. But I'm just telling you what's in my bloodline through the ancestral line. And this isn't also in many black Americans is dealing with this. Say you are the blood of Christ. You are literally related to this Melchizedek priest, the blood of Yeshua. You just say you just one of those people that are direct descendants of that, right? Say you have some ancestors that don't know any better. Mind you, that's a whole separate covenant. That we talking about dragon riders and this is this whole Yeshua element. You got that part in your bloodline. Then you got a group of your ancestors that decide to go and join some secret society and take a pact to Satan for power, for material wealth or whatever. Boom, that stuff trickles down. They solve the whole bloodline. That trickles down. So mind you got two covenants now conflicting with one another. Imagine you have a third one that predates both of those. Say from some like Mami Wada or some divine feminine priestess order. That your blood that generations before that had took place. Before even the Solomon and David was here. We talking about way before that. The orders of various priestesshoods when it was the divine feminine iconography on planet Earth. Say you got those are three different covenants. And say you in 2024 now, and this shit is playing out right through your DNA and your epigenetics. If you haven't, I'm speaking personally. This is like there's literally three different types of covenants playing out in my ancestral bloodline. And so when it comes to the 14th royal bloodline, that power is supposed to go back to them. This is again melanated people. And what's happening is you got some of the black more, these are more Sephardic descendants that want to usher in a golden age. They want to usher in Christ consciousness. They want to usher in a whole nother type of system than what we got now. They want the coming of this Christ consciousness or or what you guys would call the Messiah. Then you have the other part of the black Americans that's from the same bloodline that they'd already made a deal. They already took oaths. They got contracts. They got all types of stuff and pacts that they made with certain demonic entities for their power, for their fame, for their even leisure livelihood. They have taken oaths to Satan, air, and secret societies. They don't want that. They're at war with us. So they took a deal with this system. They work for the 13 bloodline families. They're pretty much slaves. And so you got that element of it. And so there's a breakout. There's literally a fight. Then you have those of us that are ushering the age of divine feminine. From our ancient priestesshoods, the sibyls, the oracles. That's also at play. So you got three different prophecies playing out at once. And then for the royal bloodline, again, for the 14th royal bloodline, Many of you have three of those energies within your ancestral realm. So now your ancestors are out here fighting, literally. And I've seen it gets deep. It gets deep. And so there is a 14th royal bloodline that descends from the dragon riders. This is the dimension of the order of Kali that had created the Hebrew bloodline in the Atlantean dimension. The Atlantean dimension, with the help of the order of Kali and the dragon riders, created the Atlantean version of Freemasonry that was sent to Egypt and spread out throughout the world, and was bastardized when it came to Earth, unfortunately, by the fallen angels. So they messed up the original version of Freemasonry that was actually created by a woman. But we don't want to go there. We don't want to go there. So you see, like this red and black. Okay, this is from the Order of Kali, and it's very deep because, again, this information is hidden. It is very esoteric science, and it's controversial for people to say this. Okay. And so look at the angel, red and black. This is from the Order of Kali, the dragon riders. This is where a lot of the Hebrew bloodline comes from. Most of it. And these are melanated people. And we are not Satanists. We are not the synagogue of Satan and none of that. We are the true. Okay. And so what you see with these prophecies, with the red heifer and all this stuff, this is some more other shit. Like, let's actually do a reading on it. Because this stuff has already started in 2022. They thought they was about to go in and usher in one thing. They did think they was going to go and usher in the age of the Antichrist and see how they can get and stay in rulership for the next 2,000 years. That's true. But it's not going to work out that way. But yeah, no lie. I'm pulling for the red heifer. Actually, let me see if I can. I'm going to try to share these cards for you. I knew it was something deceptive about this. This is not being done by the royal 14th bloodline family. That is the descendant. That is the heir to. That is the blood of Yeshua to usher in. This is not being done by that family. I just want you guys to know that. This is being done by a group of people that are deceiving people. I mean, there's black people going along with it because they sold out our bloodline, but this is not. So as you can see the fool is the outcome card. And you do see some around this red heifer ritual. You do see them trying to usher in a certain type of events. Now, the people that is throwing this ritual, the red heifer ritual, they are not too sure. They have extreme guilt and anxiety around this situation because they don't know how it's going to turn out. And they also know that they are theft. They're thieving of something. Like they're trying to, it's a deception around this. There's a deception around this. And they are hoping a renewal of a contract with certain entities. And it doesn't look like it's going to go through. It doesn't look like it's going to be an event that is just so like, oh, this is gonna mess up humanity or anything. I'm not getting that, but it's certainly not what it seems. And they do want to. The people that this is the powers that be. These are the power players throwing this. They do want to look at a new beginning. They are trying to look at the road less traveled because they know that their time is up, so they have to explore a more suitable lifestyle. They do know that. They know that they can't continue the way with the system, the way that the current system is. But they're going forward without a clear plan. And, they have perfection-seeking tendencies. And there's a lot of information that they're receiving that is upsetting to them. But they do feel like they're upholding the law and fighting for what is right. They do feel that. And so they're kind of taking a gamble on this whole ritual. and they are looking for like partnership. They're looking. They have to make some type of choice, and they're trying to prolong certain energies. They're trying to prolong the age of patriarchy. They're trying to prolong that this Satanist regime, and it's just not going to work. So there's a hope and renewal, and they understand that they have to change it, but they're trying to, they understand that conceptually. They just don't know how, because they have been doing this thing for thousands of years. That's why we talk about 2024, the year of exposure. So we see all these things coming up to light, the stuff that's coming up to light in Hollywood and Nickelodeon, and the things that has been going on, with monarch programming, things the CIA been doing, the idea that the world is a stage, and that, this bread and circus element of the media, all these things are coming to pass, are coming out to play. Humans are realizing like, oh, this is a whole shit show. So there's a sense of guilt that they do have, an extreme anxiety because of past actions. There's a lot of imprisonment that's going to take place as a result of this, a lot of isolation and annihilation, and wishing they could turn back time, but they can't. And so they are looking to move to a peace and better life with this ritual. That's what they're hoping, is that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and that they can improve their circumstances. Okay. But there is, they're thinking quickly and they're looking at this red heifer ritual as a way to save themselves from danger. Like, how can we save ourselves? Like, how can we? And so there's a lot of karma being repaid, and there's a lot of unknown. And so this is a way to learn something valuable. So there's going to be a lot of unexpected things that happen. There's going to be a lot of unexpected things that happen around this ritual, because, again, you have to harness the energy of the people that this is being done by people that are not of the actual bloodline. I don't care if somebody goes and takes someone's identity and say, oh, I'm those people. If they don't have the light codes to activate that energy, then they're not of the bloodline. And so I just showed you that the original people are Black, and these people are in America today. They may not know who they are. They may not. And I'm not trying to push Hebrew Israelite doctrine on people. Again, this is and if you guys want to know how this whole bloodline came to be, I wrote about it in esoteric knowledge in my book, the Nakhti Queen Mothership Part 3, the language of the gods in the age of divine feminine. You guys want to know about the pre-Adamic civilizations that created the Hebrew bloodline from a different dimension. The chaos intelligence from the order of Kali, the dragon riders. This is not an earth-based dimension. It's not the Hebrew bloodline did not start on planet Earth. Okay, that's why most of you talk about, oh, I'm starseed, or I come, some of the melanated people, they talk about coming from Sirius and from Pleiades and all this stuff. And that's a real thing. This is not just a mere reduction of, I'm talking about extraterrestrials. No, this is like, it's going to come out. I'm just so early on this stuff. But if you look at the Book of Enoch, or if you look at your own even creation stories throughout all of melanated people's history, they constantly are talking about the stars. They're constantly talking about the cosmos. They're constantly telling you that that's where they're from. And so when we talk about like this bloodline and the light codes of a pre-Adamic version of say Judaism, that's real. And so I have access to what that looks like and what that is and what it entails from the mouth of God. And so I practice the pre-Adamic version. I'm not here to push all this dogma and religion on people. I can only go with my original dimension and how we've done things, how we do things, and how we have done things. And it does not look like anything remotely close to what you guys are doing down here on planet Earth. Not even remotely close. And so that's why people don't understand me, because it's like, well, oh, she's mixing all this stuff. And she said, oh my gosh, what is she doing? They're trying to figure out, because they thought, I was born with a certain prophecies around my life, monarch project, different types of, again, I told you about the 3 pacts and covenants that my ancestors made that had nothing to do with me. It's about earthbound ancestors that made pacts with, so half of them are Masonic Satanists. The other half are, are the true blood of Jesus Christ, and really want to preserve that and be, they are ascetics from the military priesthood that don't want anything to do with that. And you got others in a bloodline that are of the goddess iconography, goddess age of divine feminine. So it's a lot in the ancestor, and I felt them fighting. I felt them in a spiritual realm, just going at it. For years I have felt that. Like they try when it come to me, because I was being pulled in all different types of directions, and they trying to work through me to get through. And unfortunately, if for those of us that know about how these families will insert entities into their children as monarchs, it's very intricate. Even that science, though, is perverted. I talk about the original science from the Atlantean Freemasonry. I've literally given the correct science of what that looks like in the Divine Feminine Part 6 on my YouTube channel, that you can go look at and get a glimpse of what the science really was about. When the fallen angels, and when Lucifer teaches the science in earthbound Freemasonry, is the satanic MK Ultra monarch bullshit. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. Nonetheless, there are many families that practice that covertly. You'll never know. And it's a science behind doing that, of the assertion of the entities actually when the baby is conceived, and also why it's still in the womb. And again, this is why we talk about, you'll see a human that's born and you thinking it's just a human, but it's really an interdimensional being that descended into the flesh. There's a ritual around this. And so you think they coming through, and I'm not the only one that knows about this stuff. There are whole books written on this stuff where other people coming forward like, yo, I was a monarch, and I'll show you. Y'all think I'm playing. This shit is real deep. It's real deep, and it is stuff that most of the time the program person is not supposed to actually damn find out. If they end up finding out, it's like, oh shit. The only reason why some of us find out is because we have different packs in our bloodline, our ancestors. Some ancestors are going to tell you like, nah, they doing this shit. You got to wake up. Okay, so I'll show you this. In this book right here, The Rituals, Part 1, Book 5, From Making of the Monarch. Okay, so this is pretty much the satanic version of monarch mind control. And it tells you how it happens. The creation of the temple of Lucifer. It goes deep. The member of the illuminated ones, and what these children have to go through. And it's so subtle. On page 49, I want to go back. It was real interesting. Okay. These are bloodline families that have given themselves over. Like there are certain ancestors, and this is not just about like Black Americans. This is throughout the world, but it's in Black American bloodline too, where some of our ancestors have made pacts and everywhere possible to the devil and the fallen angels. Okay. And so that's what I'm talking about, where like with the elites, these 13 families, whatever, this is who they've made they pact to. And all that's coming to an end. They can no longer do these things anymore. The coming of the culture. Because this was the monarch mentalism science is a science from the order of Kali it's not from this planet. I keep telling you this stuff is botched. Like this is botched people that misinterpret stolen ancient knowledge that's secret. It's not even a secret. It's just that it was practiced by a certain primal spirits. Okay. And so this is what family members have contractual agreements with, these certain entities within the fellow, and they'll make hybrids. And this is what I'm talking about. They will start when the baby's in the womb to create like a certain entity, and they'll be birthed, and that's the monarch. You could break the seals of it though. It gets deep. It's some deep ass shit, man. So I just want people to know that, like, no, I'm not the only person. Just I wanted to see if I could. There was one where they talk about like. Okay, so we talk about the pure blood monarchs. There's this high level mind control programming placed in them. Okay, so the original science of this was stolen and perverted. This is what you have now with this MK Ultra stuff. and when they have handlers and all this stuff. This is the perverted version. It's generational covenants. It's generational cursing that's taking place that gets passed down bloodline through bloodline. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to look for where they talk about like how these angels are inside of you. So it's the so when a person is conceived or whatever, this is how you put the entity inside of them, and the angel that you put inside them is going to determine your rank and position on this planet, believe it or not, and particularly in Lucifer's kingdom. Okay, so it's not uncommon for a person to have a high-ranking, powerful entity in them, like a prince, like a crown prince, but the person often would not know it. What may even be more surprising, catch this, is the person may be poor, living in a rundown home, and working seamlessly a meaningless job. Powerful entities like to be in nobodies. They don't want to draw any attention drawn to them. The less prayer against them, the better. They use the body's place as a place to command all the other angels that are under their command. By not drawing attention to themselves, they take the heat of spirit. They take the heat of spiritual warfare of the darkest rulers reign from the most significant of people in the strangest locations. This is true. This is absolutely true. That's what I was trying to tell you. Like a lot of this stuff is ran interdimensionally. People that you think run this system are not. Those are puppets. They make deals and contracts to get fame and fortune. And the people that really got the power, they won't care anything about that. I can tell you this from a fact. I know that even some of these people are Black American, Black. That's why, like, when people trying to, I know that white supremacy exists, and I know these things, but I'm telling you, this 14th bloodline family, some of them have sold uh, Black American bloodline out, as well as African bloodlines. They have made pacts themselves, and they were very strategic in putting what we call the white race in front of it to take all the heat. This is Black nobility. It's just facts. And so a lot of the most powerful warlocks or witches or entities of the 14th royal family, Black family, they do not have money, not at all. And they don't need it. And there are some though that do not that renounce all of this, that are ascetics, priestesses, priests, and we don't believe in this world system. We don't believe in a Satanist system, satanic system. However, we're also still not concerned with money. We believe in taking care of ourselves and whatnot, but so it's very deep. But this is how these entities are inserted. And this kid is talking about the same thing that happened to him. How he was. He was talking about he was 4 years old, and how he was, when he was in his mother's womb, this stuff was going on. It had already put Nephilim inside of his body. He was already a temple to very powerful entities. And his whole life was pre-planned out of what he was going to be doing. His whole entire life. His family were in secret society. And he was a monarch. And so this book is interesting. It's a very interesting book because I had saw this in a spiritual realm before I even read this and knew this was how they was doing it. And so this is what happened to some Black Americans. The thing is, well, like I said earlier, there's what happens if you have family that made this satanic pact or whatever, but what happens if, unbeknownst to them, they are a descendant of Solomon, or there's a descendant of Yeshua? Or what happens if they are a descendant of primordial mothers, the Sibyls and oracles? Then the rank of the covenant, or the rank of those ancestors, going to trump whatever monarch Satanist programming that you have. That's what happened in my case. It didn't matter what kind of programming they were going to do or whatever they thought they was going. They loaded me, man, as a kid. They loaded me throughout my life. I mean, it was really bad. Nonetheless, again, since there were other more powerful energies within my epigenetics, was able to overrule that programming. That's why people have, that's how people break their MK Ultra, or they break their monarch, any type of strongholds that their family and packs have made to Nephilim or fallen angels. A lot of times you can break that if you have primordial energies in your bloodline. If you are truly a descendant of God, or of God's chosen one, it's going to be considerably hard to um, bring that person over to the dark side, or not. The dark side is not the word I want, but over to this homunculus, wicked, satanic system. It'd be very hard to do that if they have the blood of if they already from the angelic realm to begin with. If they have covenants that were so old and so primordial, um, before even the descent of Lucifer and his angels to planet Earth itself. This is how powerful this stuff is. This is not just So I know people think that's all the rave, in the occult, but that particular entity, or they call it King Demon or whatever. There are much more primordial energies that are 1,000 times more powerful than that, that reside in some of our bloodlines. In the 14th family in particular, those that did not sell out or take a pact. For those of us that didn't do that, like myself, and we say we were born into monarch slavery, or we were born into a system that we didn't ask to be in, or we didn't do this shit, God takes notice of that. Absolutely. And says, okay, no, not this person, because they didn't even have nothing to do with none of the bullshit that their ancestors pulled or whatever they were trying to do. And so there's a clash going on. And so you got, the other Black Americans that want to be a part of this system. It's on its dying leg, but they have made pacts to the satanic system. And so they are technically slaves to that system now. And some of them want out, and some of them aren't getting out. And then you have those of us that are like, no, we are here to usher in. We have our own divine angelic missions and prophecies that we follow, and we have our own set of the programming that trumps whatever monarch shit they was trying to do. and so that's where we're at with it. So this red heifer, so I say that to say the red heifer thing that they're trying to pull. I mean, we'll see. And again, the people that believe that the red heifers are going to usher in the second coming of Christ. Really, the second coming of Christ is already here. Wake up. But they're doing this for other reasons, and they're trying to follow. They follow prophecy to a T, and they don't necessarily know what it looks like when the universe deviates from that, or defies certain laws of physics, or certain or the same result will be ushered in through a very unorthodox way. This is what God is doing now. And so they're trying to mimic and reverse engineer these prophecies. They're trying to mimic and play them out, because this universe works by narrative creation, by simulating realities. And so we'll see, but I'm getting that again. The energy of this is that it is there's some deception around it. They don't even know what's going to play out. They are doing this to try to see if they can make amends. They have there's a lot of extreme guilt. They want new beginnings. And some of the powers that be. That is, and so that's where we're at with it. Okay, now let's go back to, that was the red heifer reading. So now let's go back to the individual reading for this week. And so, no, this one is not. Oh, let's go move up. Here we go. This was the original. So it's looking pretty good for you, for those of you that are watching individually. Um, you have a great week ahead. I do see that you may have to make a decision, but the choices that you have to make the decision about are very good, and it's relating to your work. This could be relating to your work or around business and finance as well. Surely. You may also feel like you have to like explain yourself at the workplace. You may have come into a situation this week where you have to defend yourself or give some type of explanation, maybe a little more sensitive than usual as well. That would be okay. This is because you feel like the situation is going to take place where you just feel like it cannot get any worse than this. Like, what in the world is going on? And that is very, very temporary because it's going to be, everything's going to go in your favor this week that I can see. The work relationships are going to be good. Collaborations are going to be good. Um, yeah, besides that incident early in the week where it feels like really like just it kind of is tumultuous in the beginning of the week, or even maybe even now, like even maybe even today, starting today, where it just was like, what the hell? How did that happen? And it's going to get better throughout the end of the week, so don't worry about that. Now, if you're at work, if this relates to your work, if this, then you may feel that you may have to defend yourself, give an explanation for what happened, and then it'll be all good. If this is your person, this could be in your personal relationships as well. But there is a lot of renewal. Like if you're expecting any type of renewal, any type of hope, or even if you were like wishing for something, be careful what you wish for, because it is there is a high likelihood of it coming to pass. Yep, and you may be surrounded by a woman who's very dependable and reliable, or she may come into your life. This is a woman. This could be a older female figure. I see that. And if not, you may be having to do like more careful planning this week as well. Some type of planning, maybe even getting an event planner. That's in the beginning of the week as well. Or you might even just have gotten through that period. Yeah. And so we end with the lovers. Okay. And so that is the energy of aligning of the heart and the mind, purity, healing. And so if there's any healing that needs to be done, that's great. That can also be combined with the star as well. That's Archangel Raphael in the Lover's card. And so if there's a lot of energy where the relationships are going to go smooth. Work is going to go smooth after that little hiccup that I talked about earlier. Business and finance are going to go smooth. Okay. And so that's a great thing. Lastly, we want to go into feelings. Let's go into feelings. How do they feel? So if you are in a relationship, I want to start putting my information to contact me. If you do want a reading of any kind, you can call that number, or you can do a live chat with me, or book on my website as well. I do these readings. If you do come on the website, though, I do give you your natal chart included in the price, as well as any other research. We talk about with my clients. We talk in depth. Sometimes like, we end up going over time. I was supposed to be doing a 30-minute reading with one of my clients. We end up going an hour and a half because he would ask me questions, and I really wanted to make sure that he get the best service, and that usually when it's a personal reading through my website, you guys are coming more for spiritual help, and so that's why it's a little longer, because we want to make sure you get all the resources that you need. You can also book on Etsy or on my website, and here is the links to my books if you guys want any books. And then after this, we'll go right into, after I put this link in, we're going to go into the feelings. Actually, one more link I'm going to put in. That is Nakhti University Tut language course, and there's other courses on the Tut language, not Tut language, but there's other courses on Nakhti University as well. So I'll put that in there, and then we're going to go into how do they feel about you. If you are in a relationship, it may be relevant to you. Okay, and so obviously, come on, we got the Two of Cups, we got the Lovers, you got the Hierophant. If you are in a relationship and you have been thinking about getting married or of any sort, this looks good for that. Now, again, we do see this. What is it? The ten of swords in the back. That is influencing the situation. I mean, it's the current situation where you're feeling, maybe there's rough patch, or there's this impasse in communication. There's this just down and out type of feeling. And the star is, there's some healing, there's some hope and renewal for that. So this person, they're feeling like you guys can overcome it. That there will be success, that there will be great collaboration. Then we have the Two of Cups. This is very feminine energy, the Two of Cups, or the number two. But then we have feeling like you guys are connected on a karmic soul level, like a twin flame level. So that is what is going to influence this Ten of Swords in terms of that, help alleviate that feeling of the drama, the melodramatic energies, the being down and out. That this is going to influence that. And so they feel like, you guys have this little rough patch. You are their soulmate, essentially. This is what they feel. They feel like they can also depend on you. You're very reliable. You're very hardworking and trustworthy. And you're sensitive as well. And they do feel like that you guys can align heart and mind. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of fire. They feel like you've been moving a little fast, though. And they also feel that, there's a conservative energy around the relationship at this time. And they may feel that you've been a little defensive as well this week, for this week coming up. It may have, it may feel like, you're trying to explain things, and then you get a little defensive, but it does look, again, temporary. It doesn't look like it's anything that's going to cause too much alarms. But then we have the Lovers, healing, renewal. That there's a energy that wants to express love, passion of the highest good of the mind, body, and soul. Okay, and so for relationships, this is a good reading. Again, we got with besides the Ten of Swords, you know, that's like the only thing that's really, but then that's in the current position, and that's something that as we go further and throughout the week, it gets better. We see the passion, we see the wanting to get together. The Hierophant is kind of, it could be interpreted as a marriage card in the Hierophant sometimes. Okay, and so this person is in it for the long haul. They want you. They want the relationship. They want it. And so this is a great spread for feelings as well. Okay, and so we're going to end it there. Again, get at me if you guys want a reading of any kind. You can call the number. You can book on a website. However you want to do it. Purchase some of my books if possible as well. And so I hope you guys have a great week starting today, and a weekend, of course, the weekend, and then all the way up until next week, next Friday, when we do our next reading. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you guys later. Be good. Bye.